Hello everybody and welcome to Class 5 of Hittite for Complete Beginners, and today we're going to be taking a look at Hittite Cuneiform. If you haven't done so already, I recommend taking a look at my other video that I've done on cuneiform. It talks about cuneiform in general, not just Hittite cuneiform, but it does provide a useful introduction to the writing system. Also useful for this class would be if you revisited the second class on sumerograms and akkadigrams because it will come in useful. So in Hittite cuneiform we have 375 signs, and unless you plan on memorizing all of these at the very beginning, probably what you're going to need to do is get yourself a sign list. Now I'll provide a link in the description or the comments where you can find a sign list, and a sign list is basically the 375 Hittite cuneiform signs with their sonic value given in the Latin alphabet. One word of warning, a lot of the Hittite cuneiform that you see online isn't actually Hittite cuneiform, it's Akkadian cuneiform. And the reason for that is that you need to have special fonts downloaded onto your electronic device of choice, laptop, desktop PC, mobile phone, to display the Hittite cuneiform correctly. Now obviously Hittite cuneiform is related to other variants of cuneiform, but they're different enough that we really need to be working with the correct representations of Hittite cuneiform. Again, in the comments and in the description, I'll provide a link where you can download Hittite fonts and install them on your system. But even then, you need to be a little bit careful because, sometimes for whatever reason, in certain applications, certain web pages, the Hittite doesn't render properly and you're actually looking at Akkadian. But with a little bit of practice, you can instantly recognize that you're looking at the wrong variety of cuneiform. But anyway, getting back to the task in hand, our goal is to take this simple Hittite word and translate it into English. In order to do that, we need to follow these 3 steps that I've displayed on this first slide for us. First thing, as we spoke about, get your hands on your sign list, get your sign list ready and prepared. Then what we need to do is transliterate the signs into our Latin alphabet sonic representation. So this first sign here, the sonic value is La. This second sign here, the sonic value is A. This third sign here, the sonic value is Ma. And the fourth and final sign, the sonic value is An. You'll notice here actually, we seem to have a superfluous repetition of this A vowel because it's already present in the first sign. These are called plane spellings, and like many things in Hittite language, there is debate in academia about what plane spellings actually represent. They might represent nothing, they could just be a scribal tradition, but that's unlikely. They probably represent something, otherwise why do it? It could be that they represent longer vowels, or it could be that they represent some form of accent differentiation. But as I said, the academics still debate this. We don't know 100%, but be aware that you will find what seems to be superfluous vowels in your transliterations. All you need to do is to condense them down into the preceding sign. So for example, the full transliteration of this Hittite cuneiform would be Laman. And if you were paying attention and you learnt your vocabulary from previous classes, you would instantaneously be able to translate this into name. So congratulations, give yourself a pat on the back because we've just transliterated and translated our first Hittite cuneiform word. But let's not stop there. Let's take it to the next level. Let's have a look at a very simple sentence. We'll transliterate that and then we'll translate it together. And here we are. And as if by magic, it's already transliterated and translated for us. But in order to do this, I went through the same steps. I took my sign list and I broke down the Hittite cuneiform into individual signs. So here we have the Nu, here we have the Can. We recognize these two clitics from the previous class. Here we have our division here. We have the sign for geshtin, and here we have the sign for the accusative ending an. Here we have a sumerogram, bal. This sumerogram is often used to represent the Hittite verb shipanti. Shipanti, we worked with this verb last class. It means offer. This ending here, as we spoke about in class number 2 on sumerograms and acadograms, often when we have a sumerogram or acadrogram in Hittite, we need to apply Hittite grammar to it. Here, our sumerogram is representing a verb, so we need to conjugate that verb correctly in terms of what we want to say. Here, it's conjugated in first person singular. So we would then come up with the following translation for the whole sentence: and I offer wine. Pay attention again to the word order. We have our verb in the final position. We have our direct object here. And in the primary position of the sentence, we have our two clitics. We don't need to necessarily represent a subject of I, because it's known inherently from the conjugation of the verb. Because in Hittite, like many other European languages, like many other Indo-European languages, you conjugate the verb in many different ways depending on person and number and things like this. And so this ending indicates that it's I offer wine. And there we go. So maybe we should give ourselves another pat on the back, because now we've just translated and transliterated our first, admittedly simple, Hittite cuneiform sentence. But again, it's useful because we're practicing. We are encountering again some of those things that we've talked about in previous classes. Okay, and the final slide today is our homework. And I structured this in 2 parts. The first thing that you're going to need to do is, again, get yourself that sign list. You're going to need to transliterate the signs that haven't been transliterated. Some of them have been transliterated for you. So here we have a and na. Here we have lugal and e. Here we have geshtin. But some of the signs haven't been transliterated. So that will be your first goal. We need a sign here, a sign here. We need the Hittite grammar attached to geshtin, and we need the Hittite grammar attached to bal, and they'll be represented in these 2 signs here. Now, once we've finished the transliteration, because I've done some of it for you, then we need to translate the whole sentence. Now, you've probably already noticed this sentence is closely related to the sentence that we had on the previous slide with some additional elements. So the translation shouldn't be too difficult. But yeah, you folks have a go. Transliterate the components that haven't been transliterated. Translate the whole sentence. And please give me your translation in the comments below. There's nothing to win. There's no prize for coming up with a good translation, but you will get some respect from me. If you find it difficult or you have any problems or questions, also feel free to reach out in the comments. I'll help you along until we get to the right answer together. And that's it from me today. I hope this has been useful. We've taken a look at our first example sentences in Hittite cuneiform. I propose that maybe every 5 classes we'll look at cuneiform again in increasing levels of complexity using a larger variety of signs. Other than that, let me say it was a pleasure to spend some time with you today. Please give me a like and a subscribe if you thought that this content was valuable, and I'll see you very shortly for our next lesson in Hittite, class number 6, where we will be looking at verbs in Hittite. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and see everybody again soon.